Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Casting the Pros, and we're choosing the self-proclaimed movement king, Averagejoewo, who would like to actually be referred as Joewo and kind of get rid of the average. He's always playing one-man quads, one-man duos, one-man trios. He's an absolute beast with the Amax. That's kind of his signature weapon. He also plays the doof on top of that. I actually don't mind that because he's playing one-man quads, always has a disadvantage, and that's where he kind of learned his movement king behavior, because if you're fighting 1 versus 4, good aim is not enough. You gotta outthink your opponents and you gotta outmove your opponents on top of that. So he's always playing games at a disadvantage. Obviously, again, considering if you play one-man quads, then yes, your matchmaking gets easier. Doesn't change anything about the feat of doing, one-man or two-man quads and then murking those fools. The game, unsurprisingly, starts in Superstore. Who would have guessed? He's playing Taylor with this exact. Oh my goodness, I have problems pronouncing that correctly, I think. He's also a fantastic skilled gamer, zooming around the Superstore, looking for people. No respect, not even like doing it slow. That's very interesting. Sees tracers, goes in, murks him down with a kilo. Kilo just wonderful, swaps weapon. Very important because you don't rely on like 13 bullets to be enough to kill someone. Technically they are. Here's that dude sneaking, gun sticks to him like butter, gets completely murked down, early, easy 3 kills. But these guys were fighting against someone, shoots him in the face. If he actually reloaded there earlier, he would have gotten that dude most likely too, because he was missing 2 bullets to just smack him down there. More people from behind, smoke going out. Averagejoewo puts up on the thing, gets the higher ground. Always higher ground here. This is very important. He could have gone from the below, but if he goes from below left, that's where the people are already looking. So you need to go from a position of advantage there where the person might not be looking. Dude tries to run away, gets beamed, tries to run away, gets beamed. The Bison not really doing any damage, gets gassed, but still goes for the peak. Very ballsy here of just walking through that. If the dude actually held the gas there, that could have turned out very unfortunate, but then again, who expects you to go through the gas? Dude is just running away, turns around, gets destroyed. Poor little Jimmy. He tried to fight that, no HP, no nothing, full body peeks without pre-firing. So he knows, he hears the tibbity-stibbities behind him, but he decides that he still full body peeks. Nukes the other one. Dude goes past him and cameras him. This is a movement I can't replicate a mouse and keyboard that good. I've seen this so often on controller. It's this slide plus the 360-degree turnaround. You slide and then you turn around and you have them. And when I try that with controller, especially with my mouse sense, which is fairly low right now, I end up like that's always when I'm saying that I can do things myself on controller that I can't do on mouse and keyboard. Very cool. He completely cameraed that poor Jimmy. Like he was like ready to beam him, and then Joe just flies on the bottom past him. Okay, so we have 7 kills. We have 115 people alive. We're going for the R90 and the Amax. The Amax are pretty standard build here actually. Longest barrel, monolithic suppressor, VLK optics, 60 round mag, and commando foregrip. I would build it completely different, but then again, I also do not play controller, so I actually don't know how the Amax standard behaves on a controller compared to mouse and keyboard. Dude is trying to get away, but Joe knows there were people behind them. I really like that he's actually not like trying to really hard focus on the car, even though Agza gets that down. Double taps him, dude tries to run away, but we know how it is, guys. You get once hit by the tap, doof, you're not getting out of this. Goes up, straight up, no respect, doof, knows the guy jumps out himself, predicting always the movement of opponents. This is kind of like important. You gotta always think 2 steps ahead in these game modes. Where would they be moving? Like which window would they be jumping out? Gets hit, tries to flick around, so that was really nice try. He sees the hit marker, right? He whips around, very good speed there, and almost actually is on target. That was really a very good hit marker play. Gets a free kill in the gulag. Definitely something I need to work on myself there. Also, this is really interesting with controller. Again, hit marker play, and if you actually play ultra high sensitivity, the speed where you can whip around with 20 cents, like Mutex plays, for example, too. Mutex we already casted. You can whip around really fast, and then if you're extremely good, obviously, have the aim assist, have the trigger, stop right on the target, and whip faster around than mouse and keyboard could in that regard. Still, though, you need to be an absolute crack freak for that. We're 10 kills in with Joe just running up these stairs here. Knows they're Jimmy's, but they're actually below in the connector. Huh, that's weird. And you run all the way up expecting them to be on top, but what is it? They're not there. Axac just destroys the whole team. Now what? Joe is not even needed. I should cast the other dude, guys. I've been casting the wrong one. Gets in the car, keeps driving. The very important thing about 1-man and 2-man quads is, well, all of your teammates got to be able to do at least 1v2. Actually 1v4. Like you gotta have the trust that you can do 1v4. Also, let's be realistically fair, you should play the doof. Like if you're ballsy enough to do 1-man quads, you need the doof. Because as soon as you have 4 people in your building, there's no world where you're gonna win. Apart from if you actually doof though. Because with the doof it's a double tap, one guy down. Second double tap, next guy down. So it's like, sounds stupid, but if you're already fighting from a point of extreme disadvantage, you should obviously use what's borderline broken. Poor Jimmy in the sky gets nuked. Poor Jimmy in the sky gets nuked, but does not get down. Joe being super fast, that's why they call him the movement king. Dude, he's like insane speed there. I would have never guessed this is possible. Mercs Jimmy 1, Mercs Jimmy 2, the power of the Amax. If the Amax, especially you see this very nicely here, Joe is focusing on the upper body. This is very important with the Amax. You gotta shoot the upper body. You can't just shoot like lower body. This gun needs to be hitting headshots and upper body shots. If you do hit the extremities, you do lose damage and you don't want to lose that damage. So you saw that very good on the further away target where he actually really just focused on this line. I think we're going to talk about the shoulder line. That's where kind of his aim is glued to. That's also where the T-pose is extremely good for. That's what we see 1v4 guys. So he knocks the one guy. Very important. The first shots he takes are knock shots. They're not maybe shots. Because if he takes maybe shots, he's screwed. In a 1v4, when you open fire against a whole team, your first spray needs to knock someone. Because else 4 people know where you are. And you're screwed. Okay, Joe has people below him. He's moving up. First Jimmy does not shoot very good. Like he could have actually been like, oh yeah, my aim is so good I can do this. But realistically, why? You know, he knows the dude will be 100% exposed in a second, holds his fire, and then shoots. Also, what if there would have been another dude already down there? Then he would have exposed himself and the dude could have pre-held him. So this was very important to not shoot straight away, to hold your fire for a second, to then be better prepared for what is there to come. Very well done. I really like that. Now, we see that rarely from these crack players, because the crack players, they often are cracked and develop a certain amount of ego and then shoot everything, you know, like, oh man, I should have downed him there. So very well and good to see there that Joe thinks that far ahead. Love that. Going into hospital, 66 alive, 15 kills already, guys. Gets the helicopter. That's actually brutal now. Helicopter in downtown, we know what's going to happen, right? He's just going to be flying on roofs and murder people on roofs. See, there's a few Jimmys on the roofs. Tries to focus on the upper body. Very interesting here. You saw the low bullet velocity of the Amax being a problem. With a Kilo, for example, every of these shots would have glued to the character. Hit scan. Here, he hit some, but you saw like the shots swivel from the left to the right, right? And the only reason why that didn't hit was that the Amax does not have the craziest bullet velocity on Earth. Very intriguing there to see, actually. Dude gets absolutely murked. Was trying to run and leave his poor Jimmy friends behind. Helicopter hopping from roof to roof. The movement king in action again. Car coming from behind, getting completely obliterated. Poor little guy. Helicopter going to the next roof. Oh, is he going to chop? Please, please, please. Ooh.
That's the floater. That's the floater.
That's what you like to see. Poor little Jimmy. Paid actors, guys. Paid actors. Poor little Jimmy getting popped out of the air. He sees more people below. This is super funny. Like, you remember 2-man quads, guys. And the 2-man in the 2-man quads are zooming around in their little helicopter in downtown, and they're actually shooting all these single Jimmies. Axac going down, having the one guy in there, completely destroyed. MP5, no chance. Interesting that Axac is actually playing the MP5 instead of the Doof Doof. Also, again, you need either MP5 or Doof Doof definitely for 2-man quads, because the guns are just so good. They have a very good time to kill, and you need that. Ooh. Good shots again, but you do notice, so very good aim on him, but the bullet velocity on the Amax, again, these are the sweet distances where you slowly feel the bullet velocity of the Amax starting to be a problem. It's very intriguing to actually see. Well done there on all these shots, very good tracking, but not aimbot, because some of these shots, when you watch controller players, always feel like, oh my freaking hell, I could have not done that with a controller. But so far, I gotta say that what I've seen Joe do is insane movement wise. The aim is good, right? Like nothing where I'm saying, man, there's just symphony levels of aim. Haha, oh my god, lol. So very well done. 20 kills already in on Joe. Let's see how much we can peak at the end. I mean, there are 53 people alive with 20 kills on the third shrink with a helicopter. Oh, could be a 40 kill game if we go on like that. I mean, if I remember right, Aiden was kind of also at 22, and then he dropped like that 60 kill game. But this lobby definitely has some opponents actually fighting back this time. Plus, there's also a Juggernaut again. There's one little Jimmy down there. He gets called out that there has to watch people behind him. Very important. Thank you, Axac, for being a communicative teammate. Goes in, boop, boop. Bubbity, bibbity, boobity, boo. Get your dead silence activated. Go in with the boop boop. They won't have a chance, right? I mean, the only way to beat a boop boop is by actually pre-firing on the boop boop, and by the boop boop missing his shots. But what if the boop boop doesn't miss a shot? What if the boop boop comes in silence and you don't get a warning? Well, then you're getting zoomed. Okay, both have been in the gulag already. Both have died. So these players are not invincible, guys. They can die too. They can land in the gulag. He lands one lower. This is so amazing, because they're landing with a helicopter on the roof. And when you're landing with a helicopter on the roof, the people expect you to be on the roof. But Joe actually runs one lower. One lower. And that was so smart. That's where he absolutely outplayed them. If they would have been 4, they would have been absolutely bamboozled too. I love to see that. That was a very, very smart play. Also for Maxac for actually going on top. So this is very important when you're trying to outplay people. Like you gotta think alike. So you know, Maxac was also like, I'm gonna land that thing on top. Joe just going below. Poor Jimmy getting beamed. Very ambitious shot. Like you see how far he has to lead up front, right? You have to lead like 3-4 pixels already up front to get that poor Jimmy nuked. Like with a kilo, that distance, you just put it on the target and go. But the kilo has always like, what was 400, 500 meters per second bullet velocity more. Next, Jimmy getting murked. The Amax just being absolutely deadly. But again, Joe focusing on the upper body. This is very important. With the T-pose, try to lock the T-pose in, like pretty much at the sternum here. If you lock it in at the sternum and with the recoil of the gun, you're always going to have like these absolutely sweet, good upper body shots happening that clap the Jimmies. That's, for example, where the first shots where he was actually focusing more on the lag level, he gets surprised by that. He just started shooting. That was more lag level. Obviously, the recoil just slowly bubbity-bibbity booped him up in the head with the last shot. But the start was the first one where he get really surprised. And again, upper body shot. Very good. Very good there to see on Joe. This is definitely something that we all need to learn more. Like, this is not CSGO, right? You don't need to run with your gun at head level, because the guns, they wobble and bounce and they have weird recoil behaviors plus visual recoil. So this is not CSGO. You don't run on head level aim the whole time, because head level aim is not even worth it with every gun. But really having this shoulder level aim that you're actually hitting the torso, because the torso is quite tiny in this game. Like your tummy and your lower body starts very early, and then you also have the extremities. You know, if you actually hit a shoulder instead of the body, it's really not actually like a body shot.
I've got some great holds.
I guess the arms, probably the arms should like start on the lower arm, and like the upper arms. I mean, if you hit a like an arteria here, you should bleed out like crazy, right? But if you get hit in the lower arm, I guess you're gonna be okay. No, if you get hit in the lower arm, you should be okay. But if you get hit like here in the shoulder or what, you should bleed out like fuck. Okay, poor Jimmys are getting sent back to the lobby, guys. We have 30 alive, 31 kills. I think in total these boys together have what, 50 kills already?
Wait, there's a guy alive still, I think.
There is a guy still alive, you think? No, I think you killed everyone. I would be very surprised if there was still a guy alive. You did so well. There's a rest in front of them. They're pushing up. Very interesting circle, though, ending with a lumberyard open area. There's a lot of Jimmys there that could be hunting you and shooting you into your buddies. They rest here. They probably have the Gertha. This is a very risky position here, because if someone takes the Gertha here, well, good luck, right? You're gonna have to start beaming that stupid truck, and you have to get it down as fast as possible. The good thing about, obviously, with the Amax is the per bullet damage. So you're having great per bullet damage to get people down. Axac is getting beamed at. Dude is on top, throwing out the stun. Did not hit the stun. Gets the guy to the right.
I got one guy.
Very important. Gets the one guy. The third guy comes out, and that's the problem with quads. Very good. Very well played. Absolutely aware and ready. Gets all those Jimmys butt clap. Get a put up. Get stunned. Let's see the power of the controller through a stun. No one pushed. This is one of the most or the strongest things when you play a controller. Like with a super high sense, and when you get stunned, you can actually shoot way better back than with mouse and keyboard. Axac being the absolute wingman here, taking care. I mean, the stuns are going out, the shots from the side. Yes, if you're cocky, if you're in the open, if you beam everyone, then it might happen that you actually get caught. So that is like the we just fight 1v4, and it might happen that if you get third partied, you're actually fighting 8 people suddenly, right? And you're only 2 to fight 8. So that's obviously the problem with 2-man quads, but they get out of the situation. Axac holding nicely back there. Very well done. Now they're looking for the Jimmys on the side, trying to zoom in some plates and get out of this massacre.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a satchel.
Very lucky for them, because I think the side third-party Jimmys actually cleaned up the team they were fighting against. So they almost killed them, but realistically, they also helped them to not die on this upper field fighting. The problem with these upper field fightings is, usually in 2-man quads, you want to fight from a position of advantage. But they're, like, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, these hills are shaped and formed in a way that you can just mini head glitch peek above them and just get murked. It doesn't matter how good you are, because there's so many potential peak spots. Usually you try to limit peak spots, right? So when you're fighting against these houses here, and you have UAVs up and everything, you do know there's only a certain amount of peak spots where people could be coming from, and you can cover your angles and flanks with buildings and hovels and stuff like that. Okay, the Juggernaut is close. Is he full HP?
Inside my building, so.
If he would be full HP, we would be having a problem. Goes in with dead silence. Door gets jammed downstairs. Very interesting tactic too. If you have someone going in with dead silence, then jamming the door downstairs while your partner is up, it makes the other dude actually potentially leave his room. I really like that, because you can go like bottom stairs and instantly upstairs you're like, oh man, I need to look. Someone jammed the body stem, and suddenly doof doof. Poor guy in the shack is absolutely murked. Second guy in the shack. How can you with 2 people sit in that tiny shack? Crazy, poor guys. I mean, that's completely down on them. They didn't deserve better. If you sit together in this little hovel together, you just deserve to die.
Here.
How are they going to kill the Juggernaut, though? Because they have to cross through an open field versus the Juggernaut. Helps Axac to not get murdered there. This is getting harsh. 9 people alive, 7 to kill. 1 is a Juggernaut. So the Juggernaut counts for 3 more. They're almost winning this. 34 kills. Zooming to the right. Very smart decision, but also consider, guys, if you're actually going to the right side, furthest flank of the Juggernaut, the reality is that everyone else is also trying to go to the right. I mean, they obviously don't want to get zoomed by the Juggernaut. Right?
I had him with a fucking
That was like, you know, I was very predictable, because you would expect people to also, as you try to get away from the Juggernaut. Joe could have actually killed the Juggernaut there. So I think that was his main mistake here. He did not kill the Juggernaut. He gets murdered. You know, he's trying to fight multiple snipers. 1v4 against snipers is extremely hard, because how are you going to beat snipers 1v4? They're going to be just hurting you hardcore. They're going to be mean to you, and you're going to beam them, and you need multiple shots, and they only need one shot, so you're going to get down. Fantastic game, 65 kills, but I think this was like the breaking point for the match. I'm not sure if they could have actually won it, because obviously they were the snipers. But if we go back here a few seconds, where Joe is then looking to the left. See, there's the Juggernaut fighting, right? If he and Axac would have actually rotated here, kept in hindsight, obviously. See, there is one dude, two dudes actually fighting the Juggernaut and hurting him. We don't know how healthy the Juggernaut is, but you could kill the known person, potentially. Like with a sight beam there, he could put at least 400, 500 damage into the Juggernaut while he gets doofed at, because the Juggernaut seemed to be panicking. He might die to the gas. He needs to run. You're faster than him. So you could obviously shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot, run. And I think that's where they actually lost it, by trying to avoid that, where they might have just actually finished it off with the support of the fire shotgun doofer. Nonetheless, fantastic game. This was Averagejoewo, the self-proclaimed movement king. Definitely having some of those sweet moves going on, especially the camera in the beginning, the smart moves into the building, the 1v4s. He has way more good content on his YouTube. He's a fantastic guy and really good to watch if you want to see more controller action happening. Thank you for supporting the Casting a Pro series too, guys. This is one, again, of my favorite pet peeves to do. I do love this so much, to be casting the pros and getting you up to date with actually more movement, and learning myself a lot from this, because I'll definitely change my crosshair placement on the Amax, how I usually do shoot, and see if that yields any outcome there. I wish you a fantastic good day. Thanks for supporting the channel so much, subscribing. I can't wait for Cold War content to come on the 16th. There's more update videos obviously coming, telling you what there is to come to the Cold War, so to the Cold War Warzone, so you know what's happening. And also, again, don't forget to check out P4wnyhof Plays, our second YouTube channel with variety content. Currently just burning money over there with our editor, trying to get that somehow running and monetized, so I would appreciate every single of you. Wish you a fantastic good time, and thanks for feeding my babies and my family. Good night.